Dear students, in the previous lecture we had discussed about the population explosion. Now, we already know about the ill effects of the increased population, and therefore several governmental and non-governmental organizations are trying to make people aware so that the population can be lowered down. Here we are going to discuss about some of the methods of birth control. Why it is essential, that we have already studied, that why it is very important to decrease or reduce the population, because we already know about the ill effects of the increased population. So now it is important to study what are the different types of birth control methods. Here you can see that the first method for the birth control is the natural methods. The natural methods means those methods which are natural, which does not require any of the additional material or additional equipments or any additional help from the doctors or nurses. Such type of methods are the natural methods. Another methods are the barrier methods. There can be physical barriers which are used, which you are already observing in the television, the condoms, the diaphragms, these all are the barrier methods. The third method is known as hormonal methods. There are some of the pills that are being taken, or there are some of the implants which are going to alter the hormonal level, and alternation in the hormonal level might not lead to pregnancy, and these are the hormonal methods. The fourth are intrauterine devices. The devices, with the help of special doctors and nurses, they are being placed into the uterus of the females, and that can, however, prevent from any of the pregnancy or fertilization chances. And the lastly are the surgical methods. The methods which are for terminating the pregnancy before the fertilization has occurred. So it will not allow the fertilization process itself. However, the reversibility of the surgical methods is very less. Now we are going to talk in detail about the natural methods. Now what are these natural methods? The natural methods are those methods which are done for avoiding the meeting of the sperm with the ovum. So sperm and ovum will not be allowed to meet in this duration. So what are these natural methods? We will study them in detail. The first natural method is known as periodic abstinence. The first method is known as periodic abstinence. The periodic abstinence means that the couple is going to avoid the coitus. It is going to avoid the copulation during 10 to 17 days of menstrual cycle. That is, the couple will avoid the coitus from day 10 to 17. Now, why only these days of menstrual cycle? Now, 10 to 17 are known to be the most fertile days of the female when she is expected to ovulate, because we have studied that in 28-day cycle, ovulation is going to occur on nearly 14th or 15th day. So if the couple avoids the coitus, avoids the copulation during this duration, there will be no chances of fertilization. Why? Because she has ovulated in this duration. If they make a coitus during this duration, chances of fertilization will be more. So avoiding the coitus during 10 to 17 days of menstrual cycle can be a method to naturally avoid the meeting of sperm and ovum. The next method is known as withdrawal method or coitus interruptus. Withdrawal method or coitus interruptus. This is the method in which the male will withdraw the penis. That is, it will take off the penis before the ejaculation or before the insemination takes place. So before he releases the sperms into the vagina, the penis is being withdrawn. If this is being done, there will be no chances of the sperm to be released inside, and there will be no chance of fertilization. So first method was periodic abstinence. Second method is withdrawal interruptus. The third method is known as lactation amenorrhea. Lactation amenorrhea is a method which will be only for pregnant females who have just delivered a child. So after parturition, when the female is lactating, that is when the female is producing a large amount of milk for nourishing the child, in this duration, she will not be ovulating. So if the sexual intercourse is made, as the female is not ovulating, there is no chance of fertilization. So there are three methods in periodic abstinence, 10 to 17 days the coitus is being avoided because at that time the chances of ovulation are maximum. In the second method, withdrawal interruptus, the penis is being withdrawn out of the vagina just before the ejaculation. And in lactation amenorrhea, what is done? The lactating females are not going to ovulate, so there will be no chances of fertilization. However, lactation, amenorrhea, withdrawal and periodic abstinence, these three methods are not having any side effects, but chances of their failure are very high. That is, many a times it can happen that you might expect that the female is lactating and she will not undergo menstruation, she will not undergo ovulation, but it can happen that she might ovulate and she might again get pregnant. So these methods are having a drawback that they are not 100% assured. Even after the natural methods being performed, always there remains the chances of fertilization. So they are at higher risk. Next lecture we will talk about the next method, that is the barrier methods.